Okay, I guess it's time. All right, so sorry for not being able to stream this. Long story short, I'm having issues trying to get my computer near the Wi-Fi router. The outlets in this house are completely screwed. It's a long story, but okay. Let's talk about Skills 2.0. I like it. Now, I already kind of knew I was gonna like it just based on vibes, right? That this is definitely this is definitely basically just Payday 2, but made to fit the sort of build that Payday 3. It's I don't know. Okay, so I already knew I was going to prefer it over Edge Grit and Rush, and as I've said before, time and time again, I understand what Starbreeze was trying to do with the Edge Grit and Rush system, but it's just not fun having to micromanage so many things all at once just to use whatever skills you have equipped. Just no, in practice it sucked. Now, this rework of skills, I do like it. I like the skills that have been added. I like how old skills have been reworked. There are some skills that, as of right now, are not currently in the game anymore. I feel like maybe they probably will be added back at some point, maybe reworked to fit the current skill system. Um, so skills like say picking up bags faster, or being able to retrieve throwing knives. I could see those skills being re-added at a later time, maybe reworked a bit, but there are some skills like that I am gonna miss. Um, so the throwing knife skill, that one, I really like that. I do feel like it was a bit underwhelming for the damage output, but also the damage over time is nice. So, I'm sure people will find ways to work that into their builds. Same with the new damage buffs for LMGs and assault rifles or SMGs, shotguns. Now, this is just my first impression, so I'm not going to give a full in-depth review because, quite frankly, I didn't have time to go through each and every skill that was reworked or added. So I'm gonna leave build crafting up to people who are way better at that stuff than I am. In the meantime, I'm gonna mess around with skills and see what I can do on my own. There are some issues I have personally, like for instance, there's a lot of skills that if I wanted to mix them in with other skills, I would have to like there's a lot of redundancy. So there's skills that if I wanted to try to get them, I would have to get other skills under, even if I'm not necessarily looking for those. But then again, I feel like that was probably intentional, given that that's kind of how it was in Payday 2 as well, where there was some higher tier skills that were good for any build, but because they were higher tier, if you wanted to get those, you had to pay a bit extra if you weren't already invested in that skill tree anyway. So, you have to put some thought into what skills you want and what weapons you want to combine with what abilities and what deployables and throwables, all that stuff. There actually is some thought behind it now. You actually have to consider, do I really want to invest this many skill points for this when I could go this instead? And as I've said, I'm sure people will find ways to min max this shit. They'll find the best builds, they'll find the best combinations. That will happen with time. People will find the best ways to do things. This is so much better than the old skill system. I'm going to be completely honest. Something I hated about the old skill system that I thought was good at first, but then as I played around with it more, I realized how unintuitive it was the fact that it was one skill point per skill. Now, at first, when I heard that before Payday launched, I thought, oh, well, that's a good thing. That means I'll be able to be more frugal with my skill points. Not necessarily. The problem with it was, and I'm sure people have explained this, is that if one skill costs one skill point, what happens when you have really powerful skills faster revives, but then really uninteresting skills like a faster run speed or sprint? Now the skills, now being able to like have, different tiers of skills, and as you go up in the tiers, they're more powerful, is how it really should have been. And also, I was a bit skeptical at first of the ability to like go up in a subtree and then move over to the right in the same tier. And then, like, I was kind of worried it would make some skills redundant. So far, it seems it hasn't. Like, there is still consideration to be had when you're, moving over within a skill tree. Like, there's still things you have to think about, and I like that. That's good. What that's essentially going to do, it is going to make people think about what skills they want to use, and it's like, do I want to like branch out and like have little things here and there, or do I want to go all in on this one and go for the really high tier, like tier 4, tier 3 skills? And this is what I wanted. I was skeptical with the ability to like move between subtrees, but I don't know. It seems like they thought of that too, because it seems like when you want to like move over between subtrees, it does cost an extra skill point. So there is a cost to do it. So yeah, overall, my first impressions, it's really good to just have an update and have it be mostly positive. That said, there are some issues I've noticed unrelated to this. So like there's some bugs that popped up. Like I've noticed that like there's an audio bug. I don't know what caused it, but I was getting a QR code from a phone, and it caused the audio to like jarble up elsewhere. And it only lasted for like I think a minute, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's still a bug that I think should be patched. Also, there was a bug with the like when you finish a heist, the contractor audio replays right after you finish, right when you go to the main menu. That was kind of annoying. So there are some bugs that popped up. It's fine. It's nothing game breaking, thankfully, and it's stuff that I think can be patched pretty soon. I don't know what's going to come next. This is a good update, and I do think this has overall changed the game for the better. And I've heard some people say that it's a little bit of a shame we didn't get more stealth skills. I kind of agree. I think the stealth skills we have for now are fine. It would be nice to get more skills for stealth builds in the future. Again, something to consider. We most likely will get more skill trees in the future. I can definitely picture that happening. But for now, what we have is a massive improvement, from the skill lines that we had before. So I will give credit where it's due. This is actually genuinely just it's good. It is so much better than what it was. Now, I don't know what's going to come next. I've heard some speculation that, the next heist will be No Mercy. And it's based on, like, say, the ad that you see right here in the corner on the bottom right, for example. But, like, I've heard some speculation that will be it. Also, something Almir said before he left Starbreeze was that they were considering No Mercy at the time that they added First World Bank. So who knows? Maybe it will be. I mean, for all we know, they could add fucking Go Bank or something. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what heist comes next. I believe that's set to release later this month, either that or in January. I can't remember. But as long as they can keep up a monthly update cadence, and as long as they can just do little things here and there, like every month, just do some little thing to make the game a little bit better, I think this game might actually be on track to fully recover. Now, a lot of people have already left the game, and they're probably never coming back. And you know what? Fair enough, but I do think it's worth trying again in the state it is now. I've said before, the game is in a much better state now, after all the changes, and I do mean it. I do think this game is worth trying now. That said, Starbreeze, if you are watching this, For the love of God, keep up a good update cadence. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to do big updates all the time. Like, developing games is hard. I get that. And especially with how much you have shot yourself in the foot with all the layoffs, fine, fair enough. You can't do big updates right now. But just do little things here and there every month or so. Whether that be adding a new weapon or maybe adding some of the smash and grab heists, just little stuff. Or like maybe adding a new skill tree. Or doesn't even have to be that. You could literally just add fucking outfits or cosmetics. Just do something each month. Just something to keep us interested. It literally doesn't have to be much. Like, the bar is on the floor right now. That said, I am a lot happier with the game as it is now. And I actually do finally look forward to seeing where it goes from here. So that's it for now. That's my thoughts on this update. And as I've said, my builds that you probably would have seen on the stream if I were able to probably would not be all that impressive. But this is just day one, first impression, so I expect my builds to be kind of shit. I'm sure it won't take long for people to figure out the best ways to build, for like tank builds, DPS builds, dodge builds. It's only a matter of time before people start putting stuff together and figuring out the best ways to do things. I feel like that'll probably happen within like a week. Someone's going to come up with like some crazy dodge build, or someone's going to make a build where you literally cannot die. Fucking juggernaut, like bulldozer style build. It's only a matter of time. So, yeah, I am genuinely very pleased with this update. And I want to see, going forward, just keep the game in a good state, make sure everything's running relatively smoothly. Keep some kind of content coming in every month. Doesn't have to be much. And I genuinely think this game might actually heal. And Starbreeze, I am talking directly to you right now when I say this. Do not fuck this up. This is genuinely good stuff that is happening right now within the game. Like, I understand, like, within the company itself, there's all kinds of stupid shit happening. Some of it is Starbreeze's fault, but I'm telling you guys, if you can just keep it where it is now and keep a somewhat decent update cadence, I do feel like people will eventually come back to this. Word of mouth will spread the news and people will, consider rejoining. And as long as you can just keep the game in a healthy state like this, with some content rolling in every month or so, I think we're actually back. Again, Starbreeze, do not fuck this up. All right? This is genuinely the best state the game has ever been in. Right now, this is the best the game has ever been. And as long as you can just keep it close to this going forward, I think you'll be fine. But that's my overall thoughts. I did like the skill update. Just to summarize real quick, in case you skip to the end, because I know people are fucking ADHD brain these days. I mean, sane, but still. Good update. Few bugs. Hadn't had anything game breaking happen, so that's good. I am gonna miss some of the skills that were removed, but I do feel like maybe they'll be added in the future. New skill trees, maybe. So yeah, I'm looking forward to where the game is headed now. That's it for now. Again, I apologize for not having been able to stream. I'll figure out some solution to that, hopefully before the next GTA Online update, but we'll have to see. But I guess for anyone who did happen to watch, thanks. That's it for now. I'm out.